All right, so the Buffalo Bills, they win today over the Tennessee Titans, 14-7. Now, I know some of you out there may believe that this is, look how good our team is. For the pragmatic fan, I think there's a lot here to unpack. I think there's a lot of things that you have to take a long, hard look at. I think that this bye week is coming at the right team for this time so that they can get their shit together and figure out who they want to be going forward to week 17. With that, I'm going to open it up to questions.
Based on our Twitter account, I would like to know, what is your metrics for a good quarterback?
So in the middle of this game, I did tweet out that I thought Josh Allen was subpar. Oh. I did say those things. Those words did leave my Twitter fingers. At the end of the day, I'm here and I'm watching the Sunday Ticket, and I'm watching football teams pass the ball for yardage, specifically yards after the catch. Does anyone want to know how many passes Josh Allen had for yards after the catch in this football game? Anybody? I'd be willing to venture that I saw 3. For an NFL quarterback, that's unacceptable. Not after Teddy Bridgewater passes for 200 yards in the first half, and Josh Allen struggles to get there throughout an entire game. That, my friends, is just the first. That's the tip of the iceberg in terms of what a good quarterback is. Next question.
Let's see here. This comes from Hugo Carmona. Why does Dable hold on to these misdirection plays with McKenzie and Roberts until the fourth quarter?
Folks, here's what I've learned. What I've learned about our coaching staff is that they are, let's try this, let's try that, and when push comes to shove, we throw the kitchen sink at them. That's our coaches. I have to believe that that's their mindset, the process. With that said, I watch NFL football teams, some of the most successful in the league in terms of offense, go to the well time and time again to trickery, to misdirection plays, to plays that get the defense moving east and west, get them on their toes, and then hit them with something. So with that said, the fact that our football team sees fit to save that until the fourth quarter, you can call it faith, I guess. You call it faith in your defense. I think that they believe so strongly that their defense can deal with anything that they're willing to call a vanilla hand through 3 quarters. Last week, we didn't have that luxury, and we saw the first third quarter points scored for any Bills team this season. This week, when it mattered, they went to the well, and all of a sudden you saw Isaiah McKenzie for the first time all week. It's because this team, because of our defensive nature and a defensive head coach, firmly believe that they will never be out of a football game, and as such, they don't need to call an exotic offense. They don't have to try to fool anybody. They think they can win with power even when it doesn't work.
What was your impression of Duke Williams, and do you think he's going to return to the practice squad?
Duke Williams. How do you return that guy to the practice squad? Okay, Zay Jones. Last week during the podcast, we recapped Zay Jones and exactly what he's brought to the offense this season. Okay? Chris, how many first downs do you think Zay Jones was responsible for? 1? Yes, it was on a touchdown drive. But outside of that 1, how many other have you seen from him?
Not a whole lot.
That's correct. All of you in the delegation, you can suck it. Because at this point, what we're talking about is a wide receiver who doesn't catch the ball, but that was the only thing that made him draft worthy, was his catching ability. Enter Duke Williams, a wide receiver with size, a wide receiver with a little bit of speed, and a wide receiver who had a chance to crack an NFL roster at some point in his career. And the reason he didn't was because he was a miscreant. He was a fuck-up. So, he slaved away in Canadian football. The highest ranked wide receiver in the CFL in terms of yardage gained. And then we gave him an opportunity. We sent him to the practice squad. Now, he got his first taste of game action, and guess what? He outproduced Zay Jones. Why? Because the guy has had to claw his way up from nothing. Zay Jones isn't hungry. He's not playing like a wide receiver who wants to be in this league. He's not striking me as someone who is playing his way into the offensive coordinator's favor. So with that said, Duke Williams, you made me forget about Zay Jones for a game. And that's something that I'll celebrate.
Do you think this going forward that Zay Jones' snap count was going to go in the tank because Duke Williams is here?
You could deactivate Zay Jones for all I care. At this point, if I had to pick the biggest loser on this roster in terms of where you started and where you are today, it'd be Zay Jones.
What's your take on the offensive line with the amount of injuries we saw out here today?
Today was rough. Today was rough, and I didn't know how we were going to get through it. You saw a team that was trying to fight its way through adversity in terms of who was protecting their maligned quarterback. Some of it by me. You saw an offensive line that when Mitch Morse went out in the first quarter, I didn't even realize that it happened because I wasn't seeing pressure up the gut, even though Jarrell Casey is one of the better defensive tackles in all of the NFL. I wasn't seeing things, and I thought, hey, maybe Mitch Morse is having a great day, and then Chris looks at me and says, well, he's Mitch Morse has been out for 2 drives now. We did well fielding the depth of the offensive line to not only absorb the loss of a center, but the loss of a right tackle who was already a backup right tackle and still have a guy who could keep guys off of Josh Allen. So much so that we went on to win the football game. Next question.
Shifting over to the defensive side of the ball, your take on our linebackers today.
Linebackers? No. I have 2 balls. If I had a third one, I'd cut him off and donate him to Tre Edmunds because that guy has the biggest balls on the face of the planet, as far as I'm concerned. Tre Edmunds. Hey, you put that cigarette out. There's no smoking in my press conferences. Zamtrow. Tre Edmunds might be. I remember fondly, we were in Jamaica at a wedding. I had just gotten so drunk that I didn't know that we drafted Tre Edmunds. And when I started watching his highlights, I thought to myself, damn it, that's a linebacker. Last year, he was suspect in the rushing attack. It was one of the fatal flaws of the Bills' defense. The running game still failed us. Today's game against a running back the caliber of Derrick Henry. I watched his career at Alabama. He mows people down. There's only one person on our defense the same size who can arm tackle Derrick Henry. Tre Edmunds. And guess who was there to answer the bell when Derrick Henry came ringing? Tre Edmunds. He was there with tackles to the body, tackles for a loss, tackles at the line of scrimmage. If there was anybody I would like to applaud with both hands for not allowing this game to get out of hand on the ground, it's Tre Edmunds for his work on Derrick Henry. Salute you, sir.
Drew, in the first couple of weeks, you were highly critical of Brian Daboll's play calling. In the last couple of weeks, you've been more critical of Josh Allen's play. Would you blame the offensive shortcomings more on Brian Daboll or Josh Allen at this point?
When the offense dries up, it's really easy to point at the offensive coordinator. It's real easy. I would argue the person executing the plays. I'm watching Teddy Bridgewater go out there and just dice defenses up. And he's a backup. He's not good enough to start. I just watch. Gardner Minshew should not be playing NFL football. And yet as a 6th round rookie, he's more accurate than our quarterback. I'm going to leave this, all of it. I'm taking this fucking dip. I'm going to leave you with this. We won this football game. Great, wonderful. Wonderful. At the end of the day, our offense scored 14 points. We're not a football team that can piss away points. Our defense is elite. Our offense is anything but. And that starts under center. Our offensive coordinator is calling a good game. We have a guy who can't execute it. Even at a backup quarterback level. I defend this idea that no, we're not better off with Matt Barkley. But that doesn't mean that I'm high on Josh Allen. Over this bye week, and over the course of the next week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 weeks, Josh Allen has to figure out what he is at quarterback. And if he can't be accurate, then I have to argue, what is the value of a guy who can throw a football over these mountains? Is that it? Are you Napoleon Dynamite? Is that all you are? You're a quote from a movie nobody even remembers. Millennials won't. And I'm going to drink enough to just block it out in the event that you're not. I'm out of here.